topic of my paper is Indo-Fijian diasporic identity and representation in post-colonial Indo-Fijian literature. The arrival of the Indians to Fiji on 4th March 1879 marks a very important date, not only in Fiji's history, but also in the lives of the indentured laborers and their descendants. The stories of indenture, as observed by Brij Lal in his book Leveling Wind, Remembering, published in 2019, have gone through several reincarnations where the earliest phase describes embarrassment, struggle, and toil, and the later describes celebration of freedom, insecurities, and marginalization. In Fiji, identity research and reconstruction had been described in literature where Indo-Fijian authors delved into the history of the country to explain the diasporic experiences of the Indo-Fijian community. The authors primarily reminisce rural life in Fiji during the mid and the late 20th century. The discussed authors are of Indo-Fijian descent and therefore are directly linked to the indentured history of Fiji as well as to the Indo-Fijian community. The social and cultural lives of the indentured laborers underwent massive changes during and after the indenture period, which ended in 1920, resulting in the formation of a new identity, Fiji Indians. Consequently, Fiji-born Indians, after the end of the indenture system, lost touch with the land of their ancestors, and with the new generation born and raised in Fiji, India became out of scope to their everyday lives. Brij Lal claims that once the shackles of indenture were removed, the Indians in Fiji became a growing social and economic force, and by 1945, outnumbered the indigenous Fijians, rather. This was the beginning of the tensions between the indigenous Fijians and the Indo-Fijians in Fiji, where the latter were constantly reminded of their historical existence, raising questions on their identity and belongingness in Fiji. This paper will therefore review selected writings of Subramani, Brij Lal, Vijay Mishra, and Kavita Nandan to illustrate the traumas of indenture and the Indo-Fijian diasporic identity in Fiji. The traumas of indenture. To understand Indo-Fijian diaspora, it is important to firstly document their first dislocation. In between 1879 and 1916, the British colonial rulers in Fiji brought the first Indian indentured laborers to work on the sugarcane plantations to fulfill the enormous demands for cheap labor. Consequently, Indians were imported to Fiji under the indenture labor scheme, which, according to Hugh Tinker's theory, was simply a new system of slavery. The indenture system, therefore, marks a very important event in Indo-Fijian literature, which exemplifies the memories and experiences of the indenture period, as well as the diasporic experiences that inhabit aspects of culture, religion, race, and biological links. Edward Said's construct of Orientalism can be applied in the case of the Indo-Fijian literature, which views the diaspora as the periphery connected to the center, which is the homeland, India. Haruntian, 2012, criticizes the classical diaspora framework, which heavily focuses on the reasons and conditions of the diaspora in the new home, not on how their lives were before their migration. Most Indo-Fijian writers, being the descendants of the indentured laborers, had used the classical diaspora framework to explore the challenges in the new homeland. The collective memory of servitude, suffering, traditions, customs, and religion unites their narratives to remind readers of the traumas of the indenture period and how their ancestors created a home away from home. The memories of the past that have brought about a sense of displacement and nostalgia to the indentured laborers and their descendants' continuous struggle for identity in the country they were born in is mainly transcribed in essays, short stories, poetry, novella, and memoirs. Subramani, the son of an indentured laborer, has emerged as one of the most prominent Indo-Fijian voices. His writings encapsulates the experiences of Indo-Fijian men, women, and children caught up in the vehement shadows of colonialism, indenture, ethnic tensions, and national identity. The Fantasy Edis, which was published in 1988, is a collection of 9 short stories and a novella, which is predominantly set in the Indian community in Fiji. Subramani reveals the complex fate of the Indo-Fijians whose existence in a multicultural country is challenged with the psychological effects of the traumas of the indenture system. Subramani, through the narratives in this collection, describes the life and experiences of laborers on plantation and their endless struggle to find home away from home. The traumas of indenture are recollected by Subramani through the characters in Sautu, which is also the name of the village in which the story is set. The central character, Dhanpat, is nearing the end of his life and thus begins experiencing mental breakdown. After his wife passed away, his children went out in quest for better opportunities overseas. Dhanpat's son Somu represents the new generation who wanted to break free and seek an alternative identity overseas, but subsequently discovers that he is not detached from his village and country. Both the characters experienced loneliness and alienation. Sudesh Mishra identifies Sautu with the other villages in Fiji, which embodies the dehumanizing experience of indenture and where the likes of Dhanpat and Somu still exist. The traumas of indenture have not withered entirely, as Indo-Fijians subconsciously impinge on the historical experiences and, like Dhanpat, refuse to accommodate new forces and culture or become Somu to simply leave and find a new home. Gone Bush, a novella in Fantasy Eaters, somewhat mirrors the events of the physical and psychological journey of the laborers. Reading this novella not only invokes nostalgia, but also describes the struggle of our forefathers in reorienting themselves in an alien land, which later they called home. The other stories in the collection reflects the Indo-Fijian diasporic situation and how the female characters continue to bear the stigma and sufferings of indenture. Tell Me Where the Train Goes, Gamalian Woman, and Kala represents the Indo-Fijian women who attempted to break free from the doubly colonized society. Fantasy Eaters is one of the best Indo-Fijian literature that needs to be read to visualize the life and struggles of the Indo-Fijians in Fiji. In 2017, Subramani added new short stories and reissued Fantasy Eaters into Wildflowers, which traverses the Indo-Fijian history from indenture to the 21st century. The reissue of the letter collection proves the existence and recurrences of the described issues affecting the Indo-Fijians in the present society. In addition, another remarkable contribution by Subramani had been the introduction to Indo-Fijian experience, which describes the need for Indo-Fijians to affirm their identity as Fijians, although their culture and traditions from India. This is indeed the predicament of most Indo-Fijians in the 21st century, who cannot associate themselves with India, because unlike their ancestors, they have no memories of India. Their diasporic experiences are comprehensively relatable to Subramani's introduction in the Indo-Fijian experience. Another well-known Indo-Fijian writer, Brijlal, provides a succinct historical account in his writings. Brijlal's writings are descriptive and reflective of the diasporic Indo-Fijian community, which is reconstituting the fragments of their ancestors' culture to establish their unique identity in Fiji. Brijlal, during an interview cited in Wahid 2017, reveals that the confinements between the two major groups in Fiji, that is the indigenous Fijians and the Indians, are evidenced in the non-existence of cross-cultural interactions in the socio-political arena, where the former are advantaged in certain areas of sustenance and reproduction, while the latter builds upon the remnants of their indentured predecessors. Lal's Reflections in Bittersweet, the Indo-Fijian experience that was published in 2005, details the history and the representations of the Indo-Fijians in 5 chapters, as well as a prologue that sets an undertone to the traumas associated with indenture and the diasporic experiences of the Indo-Fijian community in Fiji. The writings reflect considerable depth of research and experience, which churns strong emotion, pride, and respect for the indentured laborers who suffered in the hope to provide a better life for their descendants. Brijlal's writings on the indenture experiences and the diasporic situation of the Indo-Fijian communities in Fiji is priceless, as it has recorded the Indo-Fijian history as it is, unrefined and real. One need not read through each chapter of the book to cognize the experiences as the prologue in Bittersweet, the Indo-Fijian Experience, summarizes the pervasiveness of the identity crisis amongst the Indo-Fijians in Fiji. Quan Chi, one scholar in the year 2005, cites Bridgelal's description of the Indo-Fijian experience as tragic ironies, where the Indians were made to work under conditions of extreme servitude and violence at the hands of the European settlers to establish their rightful place in the country. Yet their descendants are made to feel that they don't belong. The predicaments of the Indian communities in Fiji are detailed by Lal in his distinctive voice, which discloses the troubled identity of the Indo-Fijians caught in a complex and prejudiced world. Furthermore, the prologue questions as well as justifies reasons Fiji should be the rightful home to the descendants of the indentured laborers. In the 21st century, many Indo-Fijians migrate to settle overseas, and Lal subsequently questions the future of the Indo-Fijian community in Fiji. His essays, memoirs, fiction, and life writings are a great resource for historians and scholars alike. My next subtopic is the influence of Gurmit ideology and consciousness. Vijay Mishra, another well-known Indo-Fijian writer, discloses the perpetual struggle for identity and representation, discolored through the excruciating historical experiences of the indenture. Vijay Mishra attempted to provide a balance to the diasporic status of the Indo-Fijians, which offers an alternative rationalization on the diasporic subject's identity. Accordingly, Mishra, in Rama's Banishment, that was published in 1980, argues that the Gurmit consciousness, which developed during the period, is a misrepresentation of the reality. Mishra claims that most Indo-Fijian literature uses Gurmit or India as a center to describe Indo-Fijian diaspora, not the other events that are collectively define the Indo-Fijians in Fiji. The narratives of indenture in his revised essay on Gurmit ideology, Mishra in the year 2007 attempts to make his readers acknowledge their predecessors' agency in making their own history, despite the violence and brutality. They were able to cope up with the demands of the capitalist society, and with that, they have forged a new identity for themselves and their descendants, which is something to celebrate. Mishra encourages the Indo-Fijians to fully participate in the social, economic, and political arenas instead of investing in the Gurmit ideologies, which brings in unhappiness and insecurities. His representation of the Indo-Fijians in Fiji is promising to the new generation who knows no other country than Fiji as their home. However, Vijay Mishra's theoretical construct of the Gurmit ideology and consciousness not only affects writers, but is embedded in the historical existence of the Indo-Fijians in Fiji, which, although forgotten, are reminded by the disparity that still exists in the society. Finally, for Kavita Nandan, the expression of progress in the lives of the descendants of the laborers is connected with the topical accounts of the Indo-Fijian struggle. There is a similar following of the Gurmit ideology on one side and the progressive Western values on the other. Kavita Nandan, in most of her writings, show how the Indo-Fijian community has gone through a profound transformation from the early post-indenture days to the present. The sensibilities are still Indian, but their pragmatic and egalitarian attitudes had greatly changed in search of better lives. In Stolen Walls, memoirs, recollections, biographies, and autobiographies reflect the Indo-Fijian diasporic experiences and the ongoing legacy of the indentured laborers in Fiji. Stolen Walls is a true depiction of the lived experiences of the Indo-Fijians in the last 3 to 4 decades. The authors in this collection reflect on their childhood and youth to identify themselves as Fiji Indians. The narratives, however, develop to demonstrate the unresolved incongruity that still exists between the indigenous and the Indo-Fijians. Kavita Nandan notes the insecurities amongst the Indo-Fijians due to a series of coups that discriminated against them based on their ethnicity. Nandan describes the causes of Indo-Fijian migration in her poem, Words on the Pavement, where she blames the coups that forced the Indians in Fiji to migrate to countries that lured safety, security, and opportunities. Finally, in conclusion, like other Indo-Fijian writers, Subramani, Bridgelal, Vijay Mishra, and Kavita Nandan had recorded discontentment and displacement felt by the indentured laborers and their descendants in Fiji. These authors had not only kept the historical existence of the Indo-Fijians alive, but had described their journey and struggles after the indenture in their new home. Subramani and Brish Lal had devoted considerable research on the traumas of indenture and its effect on the descendants. The Indo-Fijian identity and the representation in literature not only describes the diasporic experiences of exile, nostalgia, assimilation, alienation, and hybridity, but also voices out the quest for a sense of identity and belongingness in a country which is rightfully also their own. Vijay Mishra's Gurmit ideology is also a great resource for reference as it explains how writers refer to the indenture as a source of angst, which tends to homogenize the Indo-Fijian literature, which in turn inhabits fears of security and homelessness. Kavita Nandan interprets her experience growing up in Fiji during the ethnic tensions that led to the first coup, which affected almost all Indo-Fijians. What conspicuously stands out in the discussed Indo-Fijian literature is the displacement of the Indo-Fijians, which stemmed from indenture and continued through land systems and the diasporic shifts to other countries due to the 1987 and the 2000 coups in Fiji. All in one, Indo-Fijian literature voices the discontentment and displacement felt by the indentured laborers and their descendants till today.